Welcome to Azure Tips and Tricks. In this episode, we'll run a sample application in a container in Azure Container Apps. Containers offer a great way to develop and run applications in a consistent environment. You can use Azure Container Apps to run containers in Azure with minimal overhead. Let's try that out. Okay, here we go. First, I'll select a resource group. And now enter a name for the container app. Alright. Next, I need to create a container app environment. This is a secure boundary that can contain one or more containers and writes logs to a log analytics workspace. Let's do it. First, I'll fill in a name for the environment. And I'll leave the region. Okay. And now for monitoring. Let me pick an existing log analytics workspace. All container apps in this environment will write logs to this workspace. Okay, let's create the environment. And that's it. Next, the app settings. We'll use a quick start container image. But if I wouldn't do that, I can tell the service where to get my container image from. This can be a container image from a container registry, like Azure Container Registry. I can also configure container CPU, memory, and inbound network traffic. Okay, let's use the quick start image. This pre-configures all the things for me, like the number of CPU cores and memory. And also the inbound network traffic, including visibility and port. Alright, let's create the container app. I'll skip to when it is done. And here it is. This is the container app. I can configure it from here. For instance, I can configure the inbound traffic to enable or disable it. Also, I can set up continuous deployment to automatically build code and deploy it with GitHub Actions. Pretty cool. And there is also revision management. When I deploy a new version of my container image to this container app, I can control which version is exposed to inbound traffic and how much. This enables me to test new versions of my app by, for instance, exposing a small percentage of my users to it and reverting to an older version when needed. Okay, let's go back. So here you can see an application URL. This should take us to the sample application. Let's take a look. Yep, that's it. This is the sample application that runs in the Azure Container App. Cool. Azure Container Apps offer an easy way to run containers in Azure with minimal configuration and management overhead. Azure does all the heavy lifting for you. Go and check it out.